Legislative Report. I'm State Representative Jerry Knowles of the 124th Legislative District, which includes Berks, Schuylkill, and Carbon counties. I'm here at the 96th Pennsylvania Farm Show. This is the premier event for agriculture, which is the Commonwealth's #1 industry. The dual mission of the show is to highlight and honor our farmers and food producers while educating the non-farming public about the ag industry. Joining me now to discuss some of the current farming issues is the Secretary of the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, George Gregg. Mr. Secretary, welcome to your farm show, or our farm show.
Welcome, Representative.
It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
Good to be here.
You're the new guy on the block, Mr. Secretary?
Yes, I am.
That's very good.
First time as man in charge of the farm show.
It must be an experience, huh?
It is.
It must be. It's quite a challenge. Let's talk first of all a little bit about you, Mr. Secretary. What is your background? Where do you live?
I'm a former dairy farmer from Crawford County. My brother and I bought the farm off of our parents in 1976, and we still own the farm, 650-acre farm. We're no longer milking cows, but we had 300 acres of soybeans out this year and some other crops, and it's a great life.
Well, I commend the governor for his choice. I mean, it certainly makes sense to me that your Secretary of Agriculture should be a farmer. That makes good sense. And I've heard great things about you from Boots Hetherington. He tells me what a great guy you are. So let's talk a little bit about the farm show. My gosh, what an undertaking, huh?
That's right, 96th Pennsylvania Farm Show. We have over 6,000 head of livestock here. We have 10,000 exhibits. We have every kind of food that Pennsylvania has to offer. It's just a fantastic place for consumers to come and meet with the farmers. They get a chance to see how their food is produced. We have today's agriculture exhibit, which where they built a barn inside of this building, and they have chickens, turkeys, ducks, beef cattle, dairy cattle, and pigs, all in that barn. And the cages for the chickens are proportionate to what they are in modern poultry operation, so you can see how the eggs will roll down and how your food is produced. It's just a fantastic place, especially when we have generations now around the cities and the suburbs that no longer can go to their father's or their grandparents' farm. So they're 4 or 5 generations away from the farm. They do not know how their food is produced. And if they come to the farm show, they will get to see firsthand how cows are milked, and they get to touch animals, and it reconnects them with agriculture. And we need to tell agriculture story.
Mr. Secretary, it is such an undertaking, and year after year the crowds get bigger and bigger. How do you do it? I mean, how does the farming community keep people coming back? I just find it so interesting that what do you do to just keep things going?
Well, it's constantly changing. Agriculture itself constantly changes. We have new technology every year, and this year you can map on your phone, you can map your plans to go to each exhibit or wherever you want to go within the building. So if you have a smartphone or an iPhone, you can map your route to wherever you want to go in this. This is a pretty intimidating building, 24 acres under roof. This is the largest agricultural event in the United States, not just Pennsylvania, in the United States. There's over 1 million square feet in this building. So it can be intimidating, and we have something for everyone. We have farm show detective, we have historical markers, which it's an education for adults also.
You really touched on something very, very true. I brought a couple of friends along, and they say, well, we watched it on PCN, but they could not get over the size of this facility. It's just overwhelming. What about the crowds? I mean, when I was here Monday, and when I was here Monday, I was commenting on the crowd, and they said, oh my gosh, this was nothing. You should have been here Saturday. Talk a little bit about the crowds.
Saturday, we had record crowd Saturday. We parked 1,300 more cars than ever before in history. You know, the governor spent 4 hours here on Saturday with the grand opening, and he toured the entire facility. It was just, the crowds are fantastic. And I'll tell you a little bit about the food court over the food court. Every booth at the food court is run by an ag organization. You have the mushroom growers, you have the vegetable growers, you have cheese cubes and milkshakes. And this year we have PA Preferred Pizza, which is being sold by the FFA. Of course, you've got roast beef sandwiches, you've got every kind of food you can want. And each food booth is run by an organization. That organization this is their major fundraiser for the year. So that money goes back into the organization, goes back into scholarships for our youth in those organizations, and it's just a fantastic event.
I'm going to trap you. I'm going to ask you the trick question.
The trick question?
Yeah, oh boy, I'm going to put you on the spot. What is the best food here at the farm show? It's all great, huh?
Oh, it is all great.
That's the safe way to go. What's your favorite? We all have personal favorites. The milkshakes just blow my mind, but I mean, is there anything in particular?
I like it all, but the cheese cubes, the fried mozzarella cubes, that's my weakness. And I haven't actually made it there because the lines were too long, and I have had one time, but I'm going to do it before it's over with.
I mean, the food lines are amazing. And I will tell you, I have sampled quite a bit of the food here over the course of years. I have never yet had anything that wasn't good.
Exactly.
It's just some things are better than others, but make no mistake about it. Well, listen, Mr. Secretary, by the time this program airs, by the time it shows, the farm show will be over. But hopefully we can get people to write on their calendar next year's farm show, and hopefully they can join us here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Out of your busy schedule, and good luck, sir.
Thank you, Representative.
Okay. I am here at the 96th annual, it would be our 2012 Farm Show with Baron Boots Hetherington, a constituent from back home in Schuylkill County. Boots Hetherington, how are you?
I'm doing great today, Jerry. Thanks.
Well, talk a little bit about your association with agriculture, your family business, if you would.
Sure. I'm a Penn State graduate in engineering, ag engineering. My wife and I have farmed for the last 31 years in Schuylkill County. My kids are seventh generation, live in the same farmhouse that was actually bought by the Manbecks back in 1842. So we have a long heritage of farming, and we're proud of our roots.
And last year, Boots, we interviewed you here at the farm show, and you were the strawberry shake guy. You shed your strawberry shake uniform, and you're all dressed up here. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing now in terms of the Commonwealth?
Sure. As Jerry alluded to, I've sort of semi-retired from farming. My wife, lovely wife Robin, is still growing strawberries and greenhouse plants and crops back home. She's my partner in being our farms, and a quite capable person. She's running a farming operation. I started in the 1st of May working with new administration with Governor Corbett, Secretary Gregg, as a special advisor to the Governor on Agricultural Affairs. I report to the Secretary, and I'm doing some work with the county fairs. We have 113 county fairs across the state. I'm also working with the PA Preferred program and other projects assigned by the Secretary.
So, Boots, you have the privilege and the opportunity to go to. How many farms are there in the Commonwealth, and how many have you had the opportunity to get to this year?
You said farms or fairs?
I'm sorry, fairs. No problem, fairs, Bootsy. I'm sorry.
There's 113 that took place this year, and I only made 97. I put 24,000 miles on a vehicle this summer and had a great time. The fair people are wonderful folks. I've always said that everyone does the same thing, but 113 different ways. So it's Schuylkill County has a fair each summer. I was down to that one. There's several in Berks County, the Ole Fair, the Reading Fair, and there's just a great a combination of agriculture and tourism and great community spirit. Everyone at the fairs are volunteers. There's no paid salaries. There's no benefits. No Blue Cross. It's just a great combination of local folks working together to have a great community event. So it was a fun summer for me. Got to go everywhere from Wayne County to Bucks County to Greene County to Erie County. I saw Lake Erie one night, and I was in Philadelphia the next night. So it was quite an experience.
Yeah, talking a little bit about the farm show, Boots. What kind of a year has it started out?
We're off to a great kick this year. Secretary Greg's first year as secretary. We set a parking record on Saturday with 12,000 cars. We've had record attendance all 4 days so far. Obviously, the weatherman's been very cooperative with us without snow and any rain. And we have some new exciting exhibits this year. The Today's Ag, which features production animals in their natural setting. We have a couple new items in the food court. A Pennsylvania preferred pizza made with all Pennsylvania products, which supports the FFA Foundation, the College Scholarship Fund, and a lot of new great things down here to come and see. It's not the same old farm show. A lot of great new exhibits down here this year.
Boots, if you were someone new that was coming to the farm show, what would you recommend in terms of how do you? I mean, it's just so overwhelming. There's so much to do in terms of entertainment, in terms of good Pennsylvania food. What's the best way to approach this thing?
You're going to come in the Cameron Street lobby, and you can either go to lunch first or later. If you choose to hit the main hall, all the agricultural exhibits are there. Our Christmas tree growers, our 4-H handicrafts, all the canned goods, baked goods. There's a Hershey's chocolate cake contest. There's apple pie contest. Anybody who wins at a county fair in the summertime can come to the State Farm Show and compete in the baking contest. Every night in the arena there are shows. There's square dancing, tractor pulls, horse pulls. Once again, as I said, if you're hungry, head to the main expo hall for the Pennsylvania food court. That's the food court. It's only open once a year. We have our commodity growers. Our potato growers have French fries. The dairy farmers have milkshakes. Our vegetable growers do soup and battered fried vegetables. And it's the only time of the year you're going to get that Pennsylvania food court. So,
and what I would recommend, Boots, is that by the time this program airs, the farm show will be done. But hopefully people can listen to what you've been talking about in terms of what happens here, and they can put it on their schedule for 2013. What is the date of the farm show next year?
I'm not sure at this point.
But it's the same week every year, is it not?
It starts it's Friday night is food court night, then it goes Saturday through Saturday. It's the first weekend after the New Year's.
So what I would suggest to our friends out there that are watching is that they mark it on their calendar and make plans on coming to next year's farm show. Boots Hetherington, a good friend, a Schuylkill Countian, a constituent, a true success story. I'm so happy for you in the job that you're doing for Governor Corbett. Again, thank you for your service to the Commonwealth, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us here today. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Jerry. I want to add that Jerry's been very supportive of agriculture and all the years I've known him. He's been a great job as commissioner in Schuylkill County. Does a fine job in the House of Representatives. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. We are here with Audrey and Neil Merkel. Audrey, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Well, good. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule here at the farm show to talk to me. And Neil, can you talk a little bit about your business and exactly what you do back home?
Okay, we have pick your own strawberries, and we also pick some for sale retail, and we have a small retail produce market. It's just a very small stand, and during strawberry season we're open at home, and the rest of the season we're open out near Kutztown. We have a small produce stand near Kutztown. Then we sell the local vegetables in season. And we do raise some sweet corn also and a few other small items, but we purchase most of them at the Kutztown produce auction.
Very good. And Audrey, do you basically then just take time out and come down here to the farm show and volunteer?
Yes, we do. We enjoy it.
And how many years have you been doing it?
Probably around 15, 20, I don't know. You lose track of time.
Now, do you stay down or do you drive?
No, we don't. We usually just help out 1 day, 2 days at the most. We're not here all week.
And Neil, what exactly, where you volunteer, what exactly is that cause for?
That it's for the Pennsylvania Vegetable Growers Association, and I apologize for my Pennsylvania Dutch accent.
Don't ever apologize for that.
But we enjoy helping out, and it helps in the research that they do for, they donate a lot of the profits to research for vegetable production. And that's mainly why we help out, we enjoy it also. So.
And Audrey, what do you find most interesting about the farm show? Why do you come back year after year?
The exhibits, they're always changing. Just the variety, even here in the food court, the huge variety of food that's available. But also, I think every year I see improvements where they're trying to educate the general public about agriculture, because most people are so far removed from it, they have no idea what it involved in the production of their food, other than that they buy it at the supermarket, and they don't realize where it starts.
That's very true. Listen, Audrey and Neil Merkel, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules. If you were going to recommend one food, what would it be?
The strawberry surprise.
I would. That is a big surprise, huh? Yes. Strawberry surprise. Well, Neil and Audrey, thank you so much for giving your time to be here with me. Yes. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Audrey. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you both. We are here with Roger and Nancy Bowman. Nancy, how are you?
I'm fine.
And Roger?
I'm in good shape at the farm show.
Oh, always in good shape. Let's talk a little bit about the name of your farm. What is the name of your farm?
Our farm is Winterside Farm because we're on the winter side of the hill near Lenhartsville.
Wow, well, you're thinking ahead of me, because I was going to ask you where you came up with the name. Let's talk a little bit, first of all, about sheep. I was watching your video, by the way. It was very good. Talk a little bit about exactly what products you get from sheep in terms of the wool, I guess talk a little bit about that.
Well, the reason I got into the sheep business in the first place is I was always very impressed with all the different things you could get from them. First of all, you think right away of lamb, mutton, the meat. Then you can get wool from them, and we're very interested in that. We have wool breed type sheep. You can get lanolin. Most people don't even know what that is. Lanolin is the oil that's secreted from the sheep, and then when they wash the wool fleeces after they're shorn, this oil, being lighter than the water, floats to the surface. They skim that off, and then that all goes into making hand creams and lotions and things like that. And there are actually over 100 different products that come from sheep.
Honestly, that's very interesting. What do you do with the wool?
Well, in our county, Berks County, and then we include surrounding counties, Schuylkill, Carbon, Lehigh, we have a wool pool once a year at the Reading Fairgrounds, usually the last Saturday in June. And people bring their wool there, and then it's weighed. It's sent out to a buyer out in Illinois, where it's then graded, and then they get a check. That's what most people do with the wool. Prices hadn't been very good the last number of years, so what Nancy and I do now is a large portion of our wool we get made directly into yarn and rovings, and we deal with yarn shops and sell yarn to people.
When we think of this animal, we think of a very gentle animal, and it didn't look that way a couple of minutes ago. Are there times when they get aggressive, or what is their mood? Maybe you want to talk about that, Nancy.
When you're feeding them, it's sort of like a shark's feeding frenzy.
My wife might tell you that sounds like me. But they do get in that when you were just taking them in, Roger. They get a little bit aggressive?
Yeah, they can be, especially the rams once in a while. Most of the time, the nature of sheep is to run away from you. That's their form of protection. But here they're in an environment they don't know about, so they're all psyched up, and that's why they wanted to go.
Now, let's talk a little bit about, I understand you got an award, a very special award. Who wants to talk about that? Nancy.
Roger was honored with an award for being the Pennsylvania Outstanding 4-H Sheep Club leader. He's been a leader with the Berks County 4-H Sheep and Lamb Club for something like 23 or 24 years, ever since our daughter's second year in 4-H. And he's been a teacher. He taught for Fleetwood 8th grade science for 35 years, and he's a very good teacher. He likes working with kids. He likes working with sheep, so 4-H was a natural.
Well, I will tell you that I did watch your video. It was very interesting, and I want to thank you for what you do. Roger and Nancy Bowman at Winterside Farms in Lenhartsville, Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for taking time out here at the Farm Show, and enjoy the rest of the Farm Show.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, we did have the Grand Champion auction fleece here at the farm show this year, so we were very happy about that.
Well, you're having a good year, huh? Well, great. Nancy, Roger, enjoy the rest of the farm show. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, Roger. Thank you. Zach Meck from Northern Berks County. What brings you to the farm show?
It's a great day to help out the agricultural industry and showcase some of our best talent with some of the best food here today.
What exactly do you do, Zach, and where do you work here at the farm show?
I'm a dairy farmer from Northern Berks County and volunteering my help here at the mozzarella cheese cubes booth today.
And from what they tell me, they are the best.
Oh, they are great. Yep, they are excellent.
How many years have you been coming to the farm show?
Since I was a little kid, came up with my dad. It was a big event for the day.
So you take some time off of the farm to come up and volunteer?
Yes, yeah. This would be my first year volunteering, but I'm glad to do it. Absolutely.
Well, Zach Meck, thank you very much for taking time out, and enjoy the rest of the farm show.
Yep. Thank you.
As a part of the program this year, I thought it would be good to talk to some people from back in the 124th Legislative District. And we bumped into a gentleman here from, where are you from, sir?
I'm from Coaldale, Jerry.
Okay, and your name?
Bob Ames.
And Bob, is this your first trip to the farm show?
This is my first trip to the farm show, and I must say it's very impressive. There's so many things here to see that I don't know that I'll have enough in one day to do it.
It is quite an experience. Have you had the opportunity to taste any of the food yet?
I didn't get to that part yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I've scoped everything out.
Well, I would strongly suggest that you do that. Bob Ames from Coaldale, it's nice to speak to you, and enjoy the rest of your day at the farm show.
Thanks, Jerry.
Well, we happened to bump into another Schuylkill County guy, Tony Rydell. How are you?
All right.
Where are you from, Tony?
Zions Grove.
Zions Grove. And what brings you to the farm show?
I'm helping out at the Vegetable Growers Association.
Oh, very good. What do you do back home?
Plant some vegetables, raise some grain.
And I know that that's a very demanding business. Why, what prompts you to take time out of your busy schedule and come down here to the farm show?
I just volunteer my time for the Vegetable Growers Association, that's all.
And you're here for the week?
No, just one day.
Okay, so I bet you if I were to ask you what is the best thing to eat here at the farm show, what would it be?
I'll be fried vegetables.
Oh, that's not a surprise, huh? No. Well, listen, thank you so much for spending time with us, and enjoy the rest of the farm show.
Thank you. Okay,
during the course of walking around here at the farm show, I bumped into another Schuylkill Countyan, and your name, sir?
Joe Reel.
And where are you from, Joe?
Clares, Pennsylvania.
All right, you're from Clares. Is this your first trip to the farm show?
Yes, it is. But I've been watching the farm show every day almost on PCN.
Well, that's great. What do you find most interesting about the farm show, Joe? Is there anything in particular?
Well, when you watch it on TV, you're mostly looking at the arenas, but I didn't know that it was so, widespread throughout these buildings and all. I didn't know the buildings were here with all this display.
It is much different when you're here in person. Joe Reel from Clares, Pennsylvania. Enjoy the rest of your day here at the farm show, and thank you for taking the time out to talk to us.
Thank you.
When you drive down a country road past a barn, are you able to imagine what goes on inside? A massive display at this year's show opens the barn door and gives folks a peek at how the animals inside are cared for.
From farm gate to dinner plate was the theme of this year's show. One of the best demonstrations of this theme was the Today's Agriculture display, a giant barn filled with animals. The goal was to show the care of animals in modern farming.
A lot of consumers really have a misconception about how animals are raised. So we kind of wanted to open the doors to each segment. So each thing here is a snapshot of what you'd see if you went into a broiler house, a duck house, a layer house, to kind of give consumers an idea and say, hey, we're opening the doors. We want you to actually get rid of those misconceptions and to trust us. Because there's a lot of distrust there where people think, they think farms are corporately owned when the fact is, most farms are actually family farms.
What I think it's going to allow them to see is that they put the misnomer aside, that when the animals are in these facilities that they drive by every day, that they're not, packed in like sardines, so to speak, that they're not being mistreated, that they don't have light, they don't have water, and a lot of these things that you hear out there about the mistreatments of animals and stuff. And when you look at some of the exhibits, the poultry here is a good example of it, of the automatic feeders and the waters and the heat lamps, and those are things that you would find in these modern facilities today, so that we can keep the animals healthy, growing well, growing fast, so that they can put a product on the consumer's table.
Volunteers from each industry fielded questions about what the animals eat, their life cycle, and the design of their pens.
The crowd has been unbelievable. It's been pretty much jam-packed for the last 4 days. People are asking a lot of good questions, and they're really getting into it. I think people like seeing how animals are raised. They're making the connection that my eggs are coming from this type of system, and that's exciting for me to see.
Well, that's why we kept her home from school today, to bring her down to see how things actually go from the farm to your house.
I think they take care of the animals. They feed them, they take care of them, and I think they're real cute.
Visitors were struck by the new techniques being used by farmers today.
It's really neat seeing the way the new stuff is, how it evolved and come around. Yeah, it's pretty cool. This is pretty modern.
How they're feeding their animals nowadays with the pipes, and how they're getting the water to the animals. It's really nice.
It's a lot cleaner, too.
It's a lot cleaner.
Many people are also learning that there's more to farming than meets the eye.
People are amazed of the science behind agriculture. And when I tell them I go to school for it, they're kind of blown away, because they don't think that, people go to school. They're really amazed that we put so much science behind agriculture. And there's a reason to what we do. I mean, we don't just do things. I mean, everything has a reason, a select reason, and it's always for the animal's benefit.
Feed crops like soybeans and corn were displayed outside of the barn to demonstrate the ways of increasing yields for a society that continues to demand more food.
McDonald's keeps adding restaurants, and Sheetz gas stations. They keep adding, gas stations that serve food, and these places are going to demand more food, and we had to find better ways to get it and stuff too. So through modern technologies, we found what are the best ways we can keep the animals healthier, which ways we can make the corn grow faster and more efficiently, so when it's harvested, we get the most from the production.
The grain, the soybean meal, the corn, all takes water, and so we've got to be efficient converters of feed into food.
Sponsors of the exhibit hope that the hundreds of visitors were educated and will now think twice about the food on their plate and the local farmer who supplied it.
That's all the time we have for today's program. I'm State Representative Jerry Knowles. As you've watched this profile of the 96 PA Farm Show, I hope you've gained a greater appreciation for agriculture and its importance to our Commonwealth. If you have any questions about today's program or any state government matter, please contact my local office. The address number will be shown in a moment. Thanks for watching, and please join me the next time for another edition of Legislative Report.